Hello my lovelies, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reacting to SCP-6000 The Serpent by Detective Void. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I'm going to, and let's just dive right in. Oh, that was just the intro. I thought that was
some religions regarding the world as it is, the history of mankind's development began with a serpent that persuaded Eve to eat the fruit of knowledge. Who would have thought that world history would also end with the participation of a serpent? The beginning of this end took place in 2030. Most of you will probably watch this video long before this event. How it came to be.
What do you mean long before? We've got 7 years left. Well, I mean, I'll take it.
That the future apocalypse is already known along with its details, I'll explain to you a bit later. On December 21st, 2030, a large visual anomaly appeared on some satellite imagery of the South American forests in the Amazon River Basin. In order to clarify its exact nature, the Foundation sent a 3-man reconnaissance group to this region. They discovered that this is a dimensional rift 1/3 of a mile or half a kilometer wide.
This reminds me of that movie, Annihilation, where they had like the void rift and everything was being like assimilated on the inside. Tell me if you've seen that, because you don't know what I'm talking about otherwise, but I know what I mean.
Leading to the Wanderer's Library, an extra-dimensional space containing books about everything in the world. The trees in this place had smoothly taken the form of bookshelves filled with books.
That's
However,
really cool.
After transmitting this data, the agents disappeared. When reinforcements are
okay, I'm just gonna say right now, when do SCP agents not disappear? I feel like every single time any one of them is sent out anywhere, it's always like, they've tragically disappeared. I feel bad for them and hope they get good pay.
Arrived, the equipment from the first reconnaissance group was found, but there was no trace of the agents themselves. The most interesting thing was found over in the thick of the forest, however. The agents entered the thaumaturgic circle. Around it lay 12 unknown corpses dressed in robes. In the center of this circle was an enormous serpent, curled up into a ball. It was in a comatose state at the time. This entity has been designated SCP-6000-A. One can only guess as to the size, length, and overall mass of the serpent, since there are no Foundation documents with this data. There are only photographs and interview recordings. In the photo, upon closer examination,
it's a woman.
It's clear that instead of a serpent's head, the entity has a human one. In fact, it's not only the head, but the entire upper half of a human female body.
It's Medusa. Nah, it's probably not. I mean, damn though, she looking good. I wouldn't mind dying to her.
Covered with scales. It was actually thanks to this characteristic that the serpent could answer questions and conduct some different activities with its own hands. While SCP-6000-A was unconscious, it was taken out to Zone 57 and placed in containment.
They kidnapped her.
While the medics were examining the object, it suddenly woke up and tried to attack the Foundation staff. However, for safety reasons, the creature was immediately sedated. Contact with the serpent was made by Tilda Moose, director of Zone 19. From the very first moments of communication, Tilda suspected the creature of belonging to the serpent's hand. The serpent called Tilda a jailer, which is what the Foundation's employees are referred to as only in the serpent's hand. This organization is closely connected with the Wanderer's Library.
Ah, aren't the serpent's hand the ones that want to expose SCPs to the world? Right, if I remember correctly? I think so. I think they are, yeah.
As a matter of fact, the entire conversation between Tilda and the serpent revolved around this anomalous place. A curious fact was revealed initially that the serpent had, in fact, not been aware of its own appearance at all. According to the anomaly, it had simply drifted into the void, dreamed, listened to stories, sat under an apple tree, and then suddenly woke up on a cold metal table surrounded by Foundation scientists.
Oh, that's so mean that she was having such a nice, blissful life. I wonder how long she's been there to have turned into such a serpent. But then if they were calling them jailer, that is kind of an old term, isn't it? So perhaps she's been there for centuries. Can you imagine?
The creature saw its serpentine appearance only in the mirror that Tilda Moose then brought. Surprisingly, SCP-6000-A didn't seem to mind this dramatic shift in appearance at all. While in a dream, the serpent constantly heard a voice that told her various stories, fairy tales, and myths. This voice told her of the jailers, that is, the Foundation, and about the book burners, these being the Global Occult Coalition, and also the Wanderer's Library itself. But most importantly, SCP-6000...
So she's been, like, taught all about the SCP and the Global Occult and the Serpent's Hand. So I'm assuming she's more with the Serpent's Hand, though, right? Because logically speaking, she doesn't want to be captured.
A mentioned that the owner of the voice hung from the trees, and promised to mold her again in her own image and likeness. And so, the owner of the voice happened to be a truly powerful serpent, from which the whole history of the library had begun. Tilda, like the rest of the Foundation,
that was almost a
thought
jump
this
scare.
place was endless. However, SCP-6000-A rejected this idea, stating that the library is large, but not infinite. It contains all the stories that have ever been written.
Is that SCP? Is that the cute little blob guy in the background? Very nice. I like that.
Among them, there certainly ought to be both my story and yours. Yes, a description of your life can also be found on the shelves of the library.
What?
New stories are being written all the time, so the library's continually expanding with them. Now,
Hang on a minute. So our lives are written in the books in the library. Oh, okay. I never want to read mine. I don't want to know how I die. I would like to think I would want to know, but I wouldn't want to know. If you would want to know, let me know.
let's get back to SCP-6000-A. She was once an ordinary human girl, except with anomalous abilities. She could control fire as well as ignite objects with just her mind.
Oh my god, it's Annie.
The girl used her talent naively, setting fire to toys, leaves, and candles. This could have continued to this day if armed men had not burst in on her. I believe it was Foundation employees who wanted to put the girl in containment. For at that point, the anomalous child realized that people could also be set on fire. The girl—
Oh my god. It's like the start of Annie's backstory in League of Legends. To be fair though, being able to control fire would be really cool. You would be pretty much unstoppable. I feel like I would 100% be evil if I had superpowers, because whenever the idea comes across of having powers, I'm always like, imagine everything I could do and no one could stop me. But then I'm sitting there thinking, that is definitely how villain origin stories begin.
Wandered the streets until she met other anomalous people, such as witches, wizards, and magicians. Thanks to them, she ended up in the library, where she became very interested in reading all the secrets of the universe. In fact, SCP-6000-A told this story to Tilda as a random tale about a completely different person. Only after some time, the Serpent admitted that she was, in fact, that girl in the story. All the interviews say that the Serpent is indeed connected with the library and the Serpent's Hand. However, Foundation documents do contain one significant contradiction. It was at—
Wait, does she still have her fire-bending powers? Can she still, like, set fire to things? Or has the transformation into a snake, like, eradicated that? I don't know.
the suggestion of SCP-6000-A itself that Operation Black Star was carried out, which involved attacking key cells within the Serpent's Hand. Why would SCP-6000-A attack its own? Although this could perhaps be a way to tease the Foundation a little and lead it around by the nose. After all, every one of the 57 apartments in which the leading members of the Serpent's Hand ought to have been turned out to be empty. 30 apartments contained active portals to the Wanderer's Library, leading to the same part of it as the anomalous zone over in the Amazonian forests. By that time, the very same territory of the Amazonian anomaly, SCP-6000, had expanded to over half of a mile, or 1 kilometer, and the adjacent exclusion zone was up to almost 2 miles or 3 kilometers. The library began to expand out of its dimension and gradually engulfed our planet. The Foundation attempted—
It tried to engulf the planet? Wait, is there a way to stop it? I suppose if you think about it logically, it will eventually become infinite, because if it's constantly gaining new books based off, like, people being created and stuff, then logically, is it going to get rid of the old books? Do the new books replace the old books? Or does it just genuinely keep growing? Because it will infinitely grow as long as existence exists. So that's actually quite scary. It might genuinely take over the whole universe.
to stop its growth, but all weapons, including even nuclear ones, proved powerless against this. After several unsuccessful containment attempts, a conversation between Tilda Moose and SCP-6000-A resumed. By that time, the serpent had already begun to recall its past life. It revealed that, as a young girl, it had served the serpent's hand and contributed to the knowledge of the library. The hand itself, according to the anomaly, originated thousands of years ago, when the first written cultures began to arise. The hand's mission was to serve the serpent, the very first serpent, from which all other reptiles then descended, including the tree serpent that had seduced Eve. Additionally, this primordial serpent created the library, and with it laid the foundation for all existing knowledge to come. Influential.
Wait, so this was the original serpent that created every... What? How did it create the library, though? That's pretty cool.
And powerful long-lived monks served the serpent. When they all died, in spite of their longevity, they left behind a message that knowledge was to be spread at any cost. These letters, after a while, were found by other people, who took all the ideas to heart and dubbed themselves the new Serpent's Hand. But, unlike the first monks, the primary serpent still exists. It was he who whispered all of SCP-6000-A's dreams. The ancient serpent is the soul of the library, due to the fact that SCP-6000-A, while still human, was at the intersection of terrestrial energetic ley lines in the Amazon forests. She was able to communicate with the majestic serpent. The serpent told the girl that with his singing, he, or rather she, had created a library. The creature then created the library halls. This ordeal exhausted the serpent.
Wait, he can sing and just create things. He has the power of creation with his voice. Okay, that is pretty cool. Imagine if you could do that, though. You'd be like, house.
Serpent creator, and he fell exhausted under the base of the library. Although, despite its hibernation, the ancient creature continued to communicate with various wanderers. But the most important thing learned through SCP-6000-A is that every story has an ending, and it's already been predetermined in the books of the library. The end of our world is also contained in them. Our planet will simply be swallowed up by the library. And even if SCP-6000-A was fine with it, Tilda Moose still wanted to prevent this end at all costs. Granted, the manner in which the serpent regarded the human...
So I was literally right in what I said. The world will be engulfed by the library because the knowledge will continue to grow and spread. That's... yeah, it's not the worst ending we could have had. You know, I'm okay with death by books, to be fair. Can't complain.
Lives that fell under the charge of Zone 19's director was rather disconcerting. She did not like it when the lives of her own and of acquaintances were referred to as simply stories. According to SCP-6000-A, the girl used to be of the same opinion as Tilda. But the moment she stood at the center of the thaumaturgical circle, everything changed. The anomalous girl saw that the end of the world coincided with the end of her personal story. Agent Adam McMillan, who worked for Tilda Moose's team, had also gone missing in a similar fashion. He stood in the center of the ritual circle and disappeared forever, leaving a note. Apparently, SCP-6000-A encouraged Tilda to do something similar. However, the director stubbornly refused, trying to keep the story called Earth from ending. The Wanderer's library continued to expand rapidly.
But can they stop Earth from ending? Because at the end of the day, everything ends. Everything dies. We might just need to accept our fact.
The situation worsened when the phrase, "The garden is the serpent's place," began to penetrate all the radio frequencies around the world, uttered in a serpent-like hissing voice. Hiding satellite imagery also proved to be ineffective. People who were attracted to mysteries had begun organizing entire pilgrimages to SCP-6000-A, not knowing that they were going to their death. According to the latest data in 2031, the Wanderer's library engulfed 58% of the planet, including the entire Western Hemisphere.
What?
In the final recorded conversation between SCP-6000-A and Tilda, Director Moose appears to be slowly coming to terms with what's happening. The Serpent convinced the director that even though the world is ending, there will be other new stories to come, and perhaps Tilda will be able to participate in their creation. Along with the anomalous serpent, Tilda Moose simply disappeared from view of all instruments before SCP-6000 completely engulfed Zone 57. Since that—
Wait. So this is... I'm so confused. So, this is what's to come, or this is what's already happened?
And the director of Zone 19 has most likely become one of the members of the Serpent's Hand. She was involved with the organization in the past, but then she chose the SCP Foundation. Perhaps her body now has a different form. Perhaps that of a serpent, for example. And her story, while in the form of a human, has since come to an end. Why is this imminent end of our planet known? Why, knowing this, am I still calm? It would appear that this particular version of the world's end was cancelled out by another, different anomaly. The Wanderer's library is strong, but there are more powerful things yet. For example, SCP-1968 is a torus of global retro casualty that changes the past of the entire universe. Perhaps in the distant future, it changed the version of our universe where the Serpent's Hand had won. Or is there yet another anomaly?
Oh my god, my mind's gonna blow. So, we were destined to die in 2031, but this giant golden donut ring, which I need to read into actually, so do let me know in the comments, changed the course of the past, so now the serpent is no longer winning, and we're not being overtaken by the library anymore? Oh my god, what an absolute mind mess. I have no idea. That was really good though. So, I mean, I was correct in the assumption that the infinite gain of knowledge will cause the library to grow infinitely. So eventually it is just going to keep expanding to the point that it takes over the whole universe. Unless something can stop it. Nothing we have can stop it. But I mean, dying by books, it's not a bad way to go. I wouldn't complain. It's nicer than some other deaths that occur with SCPs. So yeah, let me know what you think of Death by Books in the comments, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please do leave a like or a subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. I do 2 videos a week. I also stream 3 times a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays on Twitch, so be sure to check me out, and I'll see you later, guys. Bye!